All right, listen. We've had this conversation many times on many different forums, and everybody called me a Chicago Bulls hater and whatever. Look, I'm a realist, a definite realist about the game. And I know beyond a shadow of there's no shadow of a doubt in my mind that Grant Hill is a better basketball player than Scottie Pippen and had a better basketball career than Scottie Pippen. Now, Scottie Pippen won 6 championships with the Chicago Bulls, so he had more success. But I'm talking about production on the court. He was not Grant Hill. Scottie invented this mystery thing that didn't exist, what they called the point forward, which basically Oscar Robertson used to do. But let's not talk about that. He was a 6'9" guy who could handle the ball. He worked on his ball handling ability and worked on his shot so he could, shoot a little better and make better decisions with the basketball. Scottie Pippen would not, and is still to me, not a top 50 NBA all-time great basketball player. He should have been removed out of that list when they made it. Dominique Wilkins should definitely been in there above Scottie Pippen. There's no way Scottie Pippen should have even been on the Dream Team while we even talking. I'm not even done. Listen, because we can keep this up all day and all night. I am going to hold on. I am going to take you guys through everything. And when I mean everything, I mean you guys are going to have a clear understanding as to why I say the things I do. Let's go through Scottie's first years. Because a lot of you guys always say, well, Michael Jordan didn't win anything until he got Scottie Pippen. Like, what are you really saying? I'm serious. Like, what does that even mean? That doesn't even make sense. He didn't win anything till he got Scottie Pippen. So what he did? He didn't win until he got Bill Cartwright. So what did you say? Bill Cartwright should be in the top 50? It's ridiculous. Scottie Pippen was there 3 years before they even won a championship. What happened to the other 3 years he was there? He was losing right next to Michael Jordan. It just so happened they were losing to better teams. But they used this argument to try to boost up LeBron James, and it's terrible. Now, let's see. When Scottie came into the league, because I don't want to get this wrong, Scottie came in the league in, 86, 87 or something like that. 87, 89, or so, 87, 88, I mean. He came in that year. He played 79 games. He never started. He averaged 7 points that year. Nobody hold nothing against Scottie Pippen for that. He was a rookie. He didn't come from a big school at all. From Arkansas, he wasn't no real big pick in the draft. So no one expected anything outstanding out of Scottie Pippen. Now, in 88, 89, he started 56 games out of the 73 games that he played. He averaged 33 minutes per game. He averaged 14.4 points a game. He averaged 6 rebounds a game and almost 4 assists. Okay, the next year he started 89-90. He was a full-time starter now. He played all 82 games. And through that 82 games that he played fully, He scores 16 points a game, averaged 5 assists a game, about 5, and about almost 7 rebounds a game. That's good. That's good numbers. Decent. 90-91. When they won the championship for the first time, Scottie Pippen shot 70% from the free throw line. He shot 52% from the field. He was shooting 30% from three-point line. He averaged 7 rebounds a game, 6 assists, and 17 points a game. That's a dramatic improvement. So Scottie Pippen had a very productive year as far as he's getting better for only his 4th year in the league. Okay? Next year, they're the defending world champions. They won, everyone at this time in 1991-92, you young folks don't understand, Scottie Pippen and the Chicago Bulls were on course to break the 70-win season before the 96 Bulls did it. And they almost made it. They won like 67 games. So they won I think 67 or 68 games. But yeah, they won 67 games that year. But anyway, that team, a lot of people thought could probably challenge the 96 team. This was Scottie's best season on paper to me. Watching him play, this was his best year. He averaged 21 points a game, almost 8 rebounds a game, and he averaged 7 assists. His highest assist total ever. And he was averaging about 2 steals a game. That was the best I've ever seen him play. He shot 50% from the field. Even though his 3-pointers were low, shot at 20% there. He shot 76%. His highest that I've seen in a long time from the free throw line. It was a career high best at that time. 92-93, going for the three-peat. He played 81 games. He averaged the same amount of rebounds. He dropped to 6 assists, and he dropped to 18.6 points a game. He shot 47% from the field. He shot 23% from three-pointers. Alright? 93-94. He played 72 games that year. Scottie Pippen shot 49% from the field. 66% from free throw line. He dropped 10 points from his free throw percentage. He averaged 8 rebounds a game, almost 9 that season. This is the year Michael Jordan was gone. So, Michael Jordan's gone. It's Scottie's team now. He's averaging almost 6 assists a game. 22 points a game. A lot of people say that's Scottie's best year. That 93-94 season, he won All-Star MVP. A lot of people think he was MVP of the league. And I said, no, he had a very good first half. People underestimate what had happened with the supporting players. Like B.J. Armstrong had a very good start, and so did Horace Grant. People omit the worth of Horace Grant, and what he provided to let Scottie Pippen still roam around and be the man. And plus, this was Tony Kukoc's rookie year in the NBA. Even though he's been playing in the European leagues, this was Tony Kukoc's rookie year, and he was burning up the court. He was hitting game-winning shots. Tony Kukoc could play. Even though they dogged him in the Olympics, by the time he came to the NBA, he was ready. Now, this is what they talk about. Well, Scottie did great. The Bulls did good when Michael left. The next year, 94-95, the Bulls almost didn't win anything that year because of the simple fact, what's his name, retired, Michael Jordan, and they didn't know if he was going to come back. The Bulls was 34-31 in a fear of missing the playoffs for the first time in years. With 17 games left in the season, Michael Jordan comes back and plays 17 games. He wasn't near 50% of what Michael Jordan used to be, and still was enough to help them get to the playoffs and make a run. But yet, what happened to Scottie Pippen? The Bulls was ready to trade Scottie. Scottie was throwing chairs on the court. He was colliding with Phil Jackson because Phil was giving more duties to Tony Kukoc, who won the game. Scottie refused to go in the game. Like, man, no, I want to take the last shot. You wouldn't have done this to Michael. It's my team now. Phil drew up a play, and Scottie's like, I'm not going out there. So Cartwright trying to tell him, hey, man, you go out there. You setting a bad example. He was, nah, man, forget Phil. So Scottie didn't go out for the last play. They go out and win the game anyway with the play that they designed. Tony Kukoc hit the game-winning shot. So Scottie looks like an idiot. Next day, everybody's like, trade Scottie Pippen. Jordan comes back, and that's why he started doing the finger wave. Come on back, Michael. Come back. And that saves Scottie Pippen. And Michael, that was one of the agreements he came back with. Like, I want Scottie Pippen here. Because he knows how Scottie is. He can help Scottie do what he needs to do. And get him to the point he needs to get him to. Now, I'm reading you stats. Because Scottie Pippen has only scored 20 points or averaged 20 points in a season. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. He's only averaged 20 points a season 4 times in his career. Now, I'm debuting everything you guys say about Scottie Pippen. Let me tell you what Scottie Pippen's problem was. Mental. Everybody's like, oh, he came over the hump in 90 and 91 when they faced the Pistons. He finally wasn't scared of them no more, and he stood up to him. Because the year before, he got a headache in the championship game. So, he got a migraine, and he couldn't do anything. And he's like, I just couldn't answer the bell. So the next year, he came back. He was all focused and like, oh, Scottie's, man, he beat us even though we were broken up that year and we had a lot of injuries. That's the only reason they beat us, because we was beating them in the regular season. So I'm like, wow, we were injured. They never would have beat us like this. But, okay. They win. Scottie's over it now, right? He's tough. The very next year, they go up against the New York Knicks. Pat Riley is the coach. Pat Riley decided he was going to make the New York Knicks just like the Detroit Pistons. Because he said, wow, that's the team that beat my Lakers. And the way they play basketball, I love it. I got to get a tough team. That's going to be New York's team. Patrick Ewing needs some guys that's going to be in there banging and being in people's face. Xavier McDaniels, Charles Oakley, these type of guys who were bangers and wear you down physically. These were the guys that were going to help Patrick Ewing out. So Pat don't have to do so much. Now, with these guys in there, and Michael Jordan had to come to the aid of Scottie Pippen again because he was getting punked by Xavier McDaniels the entire series, to the point that the games end up going to a final game in Chicago, a Game 7, because Scottie Pippen was too scared of Xavier McDaniels. And right when the game looked like the Bulls was going to do okay and Scottie Pippen started getting scared and getting punked, Michael Jordan had to come in for the rescue. And you see that, you've seen the video when Michael go head up with Xavier McDaniels. So people need to stop with all of this. Scottie Pippen was still the mental fragile player he's always been. He needs somebody to pump him up and give him confidence. That was Jordan's job. Jordan can control him like a general. That's why he liked Scottie Pippen on the court with him. Because he knew he could play with him. Other players wouldn't have been going for that. You know, Michael's an alpha male. Scottie's not an alpha. He's a beta. Now, I had to hear about how great Scottie was all these years. So I said, okay, let's look at Scottie's numbers. He finally gets the big contract, that he wanted, the big inflated contract in 99. Scottie Pippen gets a $30 million contract to go play with Houston and Charles Barkley. They're getting Scottie Pippen because Clyde Drexler retired. Clyde's like, I'm out, I'm retiring, I'm done. I got my championship ring and I'm through with basketball. Now they needed a replacement, so here comes Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen is getting paid $30 million in this contract. They paid big money to get Scottie Pippen over there. He shot 43% from the field. He shot 34% from three-point line. He was a 72% free throw shooter. He averaged 6 rebounds, 6 assists, gave you 14 points. They're like Scottie. Here's the problem. Dream isn't the dream no more. We need you to step it up. We thought you were going to be a 19-point average guy. Because that's what we need. You're getting a max contract deal. And then him and Barkley kept colliding because he only played 50 games the entire year. And Scottie Pippen is sitting over here acting as if he's the biggest, baddest thing on the court. And blaming Charles Barkley. And he was the one playing bad. Not Barkley. He was. So they ended up getting Scottie Pippen out of there and sending him to Portland. The Portland Trail Blazers, they take off. Scottie don't have to worry about it. They got a stacked team. They got Scottie basically playing the point guard. And all he got to do is distribute the ball. But yet he only gets 4.6 assists. His assists are down. 5 rebounds a game, and he's averaging 11 points. So people tell me how great he was in Portland. All the time. I always hear this. He was great in Portland, man. He was great, man. Scottie's numbers decreased. Then he played 60 games. Then he played 62 games. Scottie Pippen's numbers. And now let me go back and correct myself too. The Houston season was a strike season. So they only played like 50 some games. So I don't want to go ahead and strike him for that. Okay? But still, he sucked in Houston. And it was a good thing they traded him out of there. So, in Portland, he had 2 good seasons. The rest of the seasons, he was stealing money. His numbers got worse. Scottie was done. He was just wasting time, averaging 10 points a game, doing nothing. And that was his career. He got his 6 championships. He was trying to get his money, and then that was that. That's Scottie Pippen's career. The reason why I never mentioned his collegiate stats because they're not necessary. He played for Central Arkansas. He's probably the best thing to ever come out of Central Arkansas. Now, let's talk Grant Hill. Grant Hill, son of a football player, Hall of Fame, Calvin Hill, played in Duke for 4 years, went to all 4 years of his college, did not have to play 4 years. Grant could have left his junior year, but it was wise for him to stay one more year in college, because he played behind Christian Laettner his first 2 years and Bobby Hurley. They won a national championship his first 2 years in college at Duke. First time the university had ever won a national championship, and they won 2 back-to-back. North Carolina normally won the championships, not Duke. Then it only goes on. It only goes up. It don't come down. The third year, in '93, they played in the NCAA championship. Not the championship. In the playoffs, they lose in like the third round in the tournament, or second round, or whatever round that was, and they lost. I think it was to Jason Kidd and Cal, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm just going off head memory of watching games. But in 1994, they went to the national championship, led by Grant Hill. Grant led the team in his senior year to the national championship game against the Arkansas Razorbacks, where they just got overwhelmed in that game. The Razorbacks was too much that year, and they won the championship. That's his career. Three NCAA finals, 2 championships, and 4 years in college. That's Grant Hill. That's his collegiate career. Okay? Now, a lot of people say that don't mean anything. Let's go to the NBA. Okay. He gets drafted 3rd pick in the NBA draft in 1994. He averaged 19.9 points a game, which is basically 20. 6.4 rebounds a game. Okay. 5 assists. 1.7 steals per game. He was the first Piston rookie since Isaiah Thomas to score over 1,000 points. Hill ended up sharing the Rookie of the Year honors with Jason Kidd of the Dallas Mavericks. And not since Dave Bing has a Piston won that award. And not only was he the Rookie of the Year, he dominated the entire stat lines as far as embarrassing the greats. All the magazines, everybody was turning to Grant Hill because Michael Jordan was gone. And they needed somebody to be the face of the league, and that was going to be Grant Hill. In 94-95, he was the first rookie to lead the NBA All-Star fan voting. He had the most votes. He beat Shaq. No rookie had led in votes before in 4 major professional sports league. Has a rookie led in All-Star fan voting. In his second season, he once again did that, beating out Michael Jordan when Michael Jordan returned to the All-Star game after being retired for all those years. He led the NBA in triple doubles with 10, but that was a feat before back then. You know, this was back when basketball was real, not like today when you can play 10 games and get 10 triple doubles. The whole NBA as a total had about 13 triple doubles. Grant Hill had 10 himself. That's what I mean. Now, a lot of you are going to say, what's going on with Grant Hill, and how does this make him better than Scottie Pippen? Well, like you said, you guys like to go by stats. And even though they didn't win championships, we're going about what they did on the court. So, that's what we're going by. what they did on the court. Because that's where it mattered at. And Grant Hill, since he's been there since a rookie, you want to say this man scored an average 20 points a game since he came in the league all the way up until his 1999-2000 season. I mean, he shot 70% from the free throw line. He wasn't a three-point shooter at all. He would only attempt maybe 1 or 4 in a season. He didn't shoot threes. But this man is going to give you 5, 6 assists. His assist total went up to 7. And then his rebounds went up to 9. How does Scottie Pippen, a guy that's 6'9", he's playing with Michael Jordan, he can't get any rebounds more than Grant Hill? Grant Hill's going to beat him in the stat category. He's getting triple doubles more than Scottie Pippen. And you're going to say Michael Jordan was taking all that. That's why Scottie didn't do all that. Grant Hill averaged 25 and 8, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. The Pistons were making the playoffs. They didn't win in advance, but they were making the playoffs with a team that was so inferior that it shouldn't even been near a playoff game. But the reason they were making it was because of Grant Hill. He was the X factor. What beat Grant was injuries. See, what people don't know in Detroit in that 99-90 season, 99-2000 season, when Grant was getting hurt and he had that ankle injury in Philly, the trainer ended up, the Pistons trainer, their long-time trainer, he's been there for years. He was cutting the tape off Grant's ankle and ended up cutting Grant Hill. And Grant had a tendon cut right there. When that happened, that led to a problem because Grant Hill ended up that same ankle ended up getting injured and never was right. He kept being hindered by it, and this was like a bad time for Grant because now he's up to be a free agent. And so the Pistons did a deal where Grant would get more money and then they could trade him to Orlando. And Orlando, this is what really built the Pistons into a championship team. They got Ben Wallace from Orlando, and I think they got another player in the deal, but Ben Wallace was the key. They got him for Grant Hill. And Grant went to Orlando and never could really get back on the court and do what he used to do because he was so injured. And this is what, if you want to say Scottie was there because Grant Hill was so injured and he was off and on while he was in Orlando, I would give you that because he was hurt a lot. He had so many different injuries based off that. Grant Hill had a surgery to attach the bone. They had to go back in, refracture the ankle, and attach it personally to the bone, to his leg, so it could be done the proper way. Days after the surgery, Grant Hill has got a fever. He's shaking, trying to recover. They had to call the ambulance, 911, to come pick him up. They took the cast off, and he had a staph infection, which required emergency surgery, and he almost died. He had to take antibiotics for like half of a year. So he was out an entire season based off this. They didn't know if Grant Hill ever was going to play again. He had a scar all up his leg. because they had to remove all the infection that was in his leg. It was bad. It was really bad. So, Grant Hill went through this surgery, rehabbed like crazy, and amazingly came back and played basketball. Where he was back to the Grant Hill of old. After 2 seasons, he came back averaging 19.7 points a game. He was averaging 4 rebounds and 3 assists. He played 67 games that year, but he was back finally on the court, shooting 50% from the field after what he went through. Then he got injured again in Orlando. He had to have surgery on his appendix. He had a sports hernia. He had surgery there. So he stayed on an operating table until he got to Phoenix, where he played all 82 games for the first time in his life. He played 70 games, then 82 games. He was still averaging 12 points a game. This is the end of his career. So for his career, he's averaging 16-7, 6 assists, and about 4 assists and 6 rebounds. And I say his numbers to me are more impressive than Scottie Pippen, who averaged more points. He played in more games. He played in 1178. Grant Hill only played in 1,026. Scottie was 16, 5, and 6. Grant Hill was 5. He's 6, 4, and 16-7. But nobody was finna hand the keys to the NBA to anybody like Scottie Pippen. You guys could think Scottie was that, but if you put Grant Hill with Michael Jordan, come on. They would have won the same championship. And would have done it a lot easier, too, because Grant is not mentally challenged. Grant Hill could cross you and get by you and get to the bucket and dunk on you if need be. Scottie Pippen has been glorified in the NBA. He is a role player. His being attached to Michael Jordan has got him in the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame, Scottie Pippen. Can you believe that? Hall of Fame. That just really blew my mind. He would have been on the guy on the bubble with me. I wouldn't have put Scottie Pippen in the Hall of Fame. So that's just me. Because I've never seen him dominate. I mean, Hall of Fame should be the absolute best basketball players. I mean, he's not Dennis Rodman. Dennis could score 20 points a game if he wanted to. That's the thing about Dennis. Dennis used to hold this punk in check. I just don't get it. But hey, I'm done here. I just wanted to explain a lot of things that happened with the situation. That's my opinion. Y'all tell me why y'all would pick Scottie Pippen over Grant Hill. There's no way on earth I would pick Scottie Pippen over Grant Hill. Period. No way, shape, or form. I'm out.